The headlines: Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele says the passage of the Special Economic Zone Bill represents government's collective efforts to strengthen and diversify the country's economy. The Country Implementation Plan CIP Technical Stakeholder Validation Workshop opened today in Honiara. And preparations for the Guadalcanal by-elections is well underway. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanau. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele describes the passage of the Special Economic Zone Bill as a major step towards revitalizing the Solomon Islands economy, saying it will open up new investment opportunities and boost development in economically disadvantaged areas in the country. Alex Dadamu reports.
Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele says the passage of the Special Economic Zone Bill represents an important step forward in the government's collective efforts to strengthen and diversify the Solomon Islands economy. Speaking to local media today, Honorable Manele says the newly enacted law is expected to benefit regions that have long struggled with structural barriers to growth, offering new opportunities for domestic and international investors.
The passage of the Special Economic Zone Bill represents an important step forward in our collective efforts to strengthen and diversify the national economy. This legislation establishes a legal and policy framework for creating special economic zones, geographically defined areas where businesses may operate under targeted, more enabling regulations. The objective is to encourage investment, create employment, and stimulate economic activity, particularly in regions or areas that have long faced structural barriers to growth. This initiative is not about quick fixes. It is about laying the groundwork for inclusive, regionally balanced development over the long term. In practical terms, this means that both domestic and international investors will benefit from greater clarity and predictability in the rules that govern operations within these zones. Landowners, skilled workers, and small businesses may also find new opportunities to participate in economic activity under this model or arrangement.
Honorable Manele added no special economic zone will be established without the informed consent of landowners and active consultations with affected communities. He said local engagement is essential to the integrity and success of the bill.
The passage of the Special Economic Zone Bill represents an important step forward in our collective efforts to strengthen and diversify the national economy. This legislation establishes a legal and policy framework for creating special economic zones, geographically defined areas where businesses may operate under targeted, more enabling regulations. The objective is to encourage investment, create employment, and stimulate economic activity, particularly in regions or areas that have long faced structural barriers to growth. This initiative is not about quick fixes. It is about laying the groundwork for inclusive, regionally balanced development over the long term. In practical terms, this means that both domestic and international investors will benefit from greater clarity and predictability in the rules that govern operations within these zones. Landowners, skilled workers, and small businesses may also find new opportunities to participate in economic activity under this model or arrangement.
Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
The Solomon Islands government and the United Nations launched a technical stakeholder validation workshop in Honiara today, aiming to align UN-supported programs with the country's national development priorities and sectorial needs. Alex Dedamu with the details.
The Country Implementation Plan CIP Technical Stakeholder Validation Workshop opened in Honiara today. Hosted by the Ministry of National Planning and Development Coordination and the United Nations, the workshop aims to ensure that government programs and the UN body partners and agencies in the country align with the country's national priorities and needs. In his remarks at the workshop opening, Secretary to Prime Minister and Permanent Secretary Supervising of the Ministry of National Planning and Development Coordination Solomon Islands Government, Melchior Mataki, says such a consultation workshop is important as it allows the UN bodies to bring across the issues and needs they have in specific sectors that they work for.
The importance of this kind of consultations cannot be overstated. For a number of reasons. One is that we would like to ensure that our programs and our partnerships with our different partners, in this case the UN agencies or the UN body as a whole, are aligned with our national priorities and needs. This is one of the key aspects in which such a consultation workshop in which the UN body is putting together for us is critical. Secondly, we also wanted to ensure that all partners that the UN bodies work with, whether be it in government or in the private sector, also get to bring across the issues, the needs they have in the specific sectors that they work in.
Meanwhile, UN RCO Agus Wandi, Senior Peace and Development Advisor of the Office of the UN Resident Coordinator, said discussions held were part of the 5 points of NDS, which also aligned with the UN country's implementation plan. He said the main work is to capture the work done and show that comprehensively in detail to the government.
Today's exercise, for some of you, probably not something new. Some of you remember were part of the discussion on the country implementation plan for that first 2 years for Solomon Islands. So today we would like to really encourage the validation of some of the key areas that we have previously worked together and come up with that 2 years plan for Solomon Islands. Is there anything else that I think we should try to revisit from that the last 2 years, and then we can use it as a basis for the next 2 years? So we are not, and as I think the Secretary Prime Minister highlighted, a lot of discussion have happened between some of the UN agency, the country coordinators here, Dr. Paul, and others, many of you, on the key areas that we can work together.
SIBC News understands the workshop will conclude tomorrow. Alex Dedamu for SIBC TV.
Preparations for the Guadalcanal by-elections is well underway, with Paripa Ward polling officials ready to be deployed, and West Guadalcanal constituency successfully held its pre-polling today. All polling kits have been deployed over the past week, and training of polling officials successfully conducted. The Electoral Commission has approved the 4th of June as election day. The by-elections came about following the death of Bradley Jim Tavulia, former MPA for Paripa Ward, and Moses Garu, former Member of Parliament for West Guadalcanal constituency. Now, Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele is scheduled to leave the country this week to attend high-level meetings in Europe. Honorable Manele said he will leave the country this week to attend high-level international meetings, including the 3rd United Nations Oceans Conference in Nice, France, from 9th to 13th June, and the OPEC Fund for International Development Forum on June 17 in Vienna, Austria.
The first engagement is the United Nations Third Oceans Conference in Nice, France. France and Costa Rica will co-host the Third United Nations Oceans Conference, UNOC 3, in Nice from June 9 to 13, 2025. The high-level 2025 UN conference is to support the implementation of Sustainable Development Goal 14, which is to conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. This is an SDG goal that the Pacific region played a pivotal role in its development inclusion in the SDGs. The second international engagement that I will attend is the OPEC Fund Development Forum, which will be held in Vienna, Austria. I have been invited to deliver a keynote address at this event, which will cover energy, agriculture, education, and digital development. The OPEC Fund for International Development is a development finance institution established in 1976 by the member states of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC.
Prime Minister Manele highlights the scheduled overseas engagements as beneficial to the country and the people.
These engagements are not about prestige. They are about protecting and promoting our interests, building meaningful partnerships, and ensuring that support from international partners is aligned to our national priorities. Each visit is guided by clear objectives, with a focus on delivering tangible results that benefit our people and country. These international engagements complement, not distract, from our domestic agenda. They are part of our broader effort to attract investment, strengthen partnerships, and build the foundations for a more resilient and prosperous Solomon Islands.
North Guadalcanal constituency will officially launch its 12 green economic zones this Wednesday, with a handover of 12 tractors aimed at enhancing agricultural productivity and strengthening food security in the region. Elisa Kukutu with more on this story.
North Guadalcanal constituency will be launching its 12 green economic zones on Wednesday this week at the constituency's temporary site in North Guadalcanal. The launching will see the handing over of 12 tractors to the zones, aiming to boost agricultural development and food security in the region. As one of the constituencies which is heavily involved in large-scale farming, the launching marks a major milestone in its ongoing efforts to support farmers. Constituency Development Officer Simon Ngoli told SIBC News that the tractors will significantly improve agricultural activities in the region.
This for economic zones, and bringing together every community for a link or economical activities like generating cash benefits for each community, and at the same time, Emi hosting two agriculture activities for farmers here in North Guadalcanal. Those tractors, Emi one for a big support agriculture farming here in North Guadalcanal. Here in North Guadalcanal, they only depend entirely on tractors for doing more big commercial gardening to them. So that's the idea that Honorable Blow Mifala and Sepo Mifala Masgarem tractors.
This initiative is supported by the Ministry of Rural Development's Constituency Development Fund and the Ministry of Infrastructure Development's National Transport Fund, with an investment of around $1.2 million. In developing the initiative, Member of Parliament for North Guadalcanal, Dr. Paul Bosawai, hopes to improve local food systems and reduce import dependency by increasing domestic agricultural output. It is also expected to positively impact the region's gross domestic product through increased net exports. For SIBC TV, I'm Elisa Kukutu.
And in sports, back-to-back wins for SPOL Vaiki as they took ahead for their upcoming matches of the 2025 Honiara Rugby Union Association 15th competition. Martin Taromane reports.
Second win for SPOL Avaiki in the 2025 season of the Honiara Rugby Union Association 15th competition. Avaiki tasted their second victory in the season after defeating Tavuli Giants 26 points to 19 in their round 2 clash last week at the Tanground Rugby Stadium. Team captain Timothy Sanga said it was a tough game but is happy with the win as they wait for round 3 of the competition this week.
Give him glory and honor, lo big man. Game today, mi fala focus lahem. Tavuli mo fala pick up team this year. So time mi fala win a bonus point, 5 point mi fala take him credit lo team lo mi fala. I think boys need for step up the training and more key for mi fala look forward for remaining games lo mi fala. But boys pick up the second game. So hopefully remaining match lo mi fala bahen. Mi fala expecting every win. Competition this year bahen tough because price go up, so Banfal expecting every team must prepare good here. So this year Banfal facing more tough team. Banfal no expecting more game last year. Last year him little bit down. This year him competition time up. Him follow no more price. If price him go up, you savena performance block team must step up.
But this one I'm second year Banfal. Me really happy for the boys. If I still yet for come together and have a good love me for play. Everything if I lane him no really work out good because if I just what a new one yet for lane and if I still need for work defense belum fala. And take you away to go shut up fight to them against Mifala. Take you boys. So, last year Mifano really come up good because Mifano no inistaka boys. I think this year team him start for this time team good, but Mifa just need for waka numalo at game plan. But Mifa start prepare for game Mifa. Timba Mifa rest tomorrow, then next tomorrow Mifa start prepare for upcoming game.
Some of the results from round 2 matches of the Heads RUA competition last week. Meanwhile, saw Hammerheads defeating Matangiki 31 points to 21, while Usotasi Leopards defeated Malaita Crusaders 23 points to 13. Martin Taromane, SIBC Sports.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.